Recording has begun.
Hi. Hi, my name's Jess Mears. I'm the Deputy Campaign Manager for the Joe Jorgensen campaign. And Seth?
Hi, I'm Seth Levy. I am the head of special projects with the Jorgensen campaign, and we're here to talk to you about planning safe events for campaigns in the time of COVID. So I'm going to be sharing screen, and Jess, if you want to get us started.
Yes, so thanks to Kara Scholes for asking us to present this information to you today. So you may recall back a month or two ago when Donald Trump held a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was all over the news about the terrible social distancing and it becoming a super spreader event for coronavirus. It was really bad press for Donald Trump, and on top of some other implications, it was really didn't go over well. So we have just seen in the news as of a couple days ago, Donald Trump is saying goodbye to MAGA rallies. Well, good news is Dr. Jorgensen and Spike Cohen have been campaigning, meeting voters in a safe environment. This year, the campaign has to overcome a lot of challenges and hurdles in order to get the candidates to be out on the campaign trail. But Seth and I are going to share with you the steps that have been put in place to make sure that the candidates are still able to meet voters face to face at a safe distance while making sure that everyone remains healthy. So we have received very little negative press as Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen have been on the campaign trail. And we're here to kind of share with you lessons learned and what we have done to make sure to make these successful and safe events for our candidates. So we have a documented COVID action plan. This plan includes everything that we are doing to make sure that a campaign event is a completely safe event. Also, something else to bring up at this time. The campaign has strategically stuck with only outdoor events. This was in our best interest, as in the event that there was somebody identified at an indoor event that was COVID positive, we would need to do contact tracing and notify all of the guests that there was an exposure. With outdoor events, while we're asking people to maintain safe distances and stay smart, stay healthy, wearing a mask, and we have not had any issues with our outdoor events. So we do strongly suggest that as you are looking to campaign this election cycle, to focus on outdoor events. The election is November 3rd. This is before it gets too cold in most areas of the United States. So we would like to really impress upon you, outdoor events are the best served for you this election cycle. We are going to be sending you a Google link that can be available from Kara with a Google Drive of all of the materials that we will be reviewing during this quick session. And we would like for you to please do review them. We're not going to have the time to review every single documented plan that we have, but we do have a documented plan. We have that available for anyone who is concerned about our campaign events. They receive that plan to make sure that they know the measures that are in place to keep our attendees and our candidate healthy. So please do review our documented COVID plan. Another thing that I would like to share with you is that we are ensuring that at every campaign stop, there's proper signage. And what is proper signage? We have decided to go with sandwich boards for these campaign bus stops. You can see here on the screen that there's the Joe Jorgensen bus, the campaign bus, and in front of the bus is a sandwich board. It says, we need you to be healthy enough to make a difference to vote in November, stay 6 feet apart. We also have some signs that also ask individuals to wear masks. So this is one that's asking people to stay with 6 feet distance. So we have 6 of those sandwich boards that are placed at focal points in all of the outdoor events so that anyone that's coming to an event sees that sandwich board. It's a last reminder, stay apart, stay away from each other unless you're with the people that you came with. And it's a really good way to make sure that people are reminded to make sure to have these physical distancing policies in place. So I would highly impress upon you, if you are going to be doing a lot of outdoor events, to invest in these sandwich boards. They're about $50 to $100 a piece, depending on what kind of pricing you can get, and they're really useful. Okay, so next thing I want to share with you is we have COVID language in all of our event promotion. So Seth is going to pull that up here. We're going to show you a quick example of one of our events that's on Eventbrite. It's our ticketing system, and we do not pay to use Eventbrite. It's a free system that we're using. You can see here the language that it's using. We are asking people if they do not feel well to stay at home and to I'd also adhere to local guidelines, social distancing, wearing face masks. We are also providing PPE at our events. So we have at every single event, the campaign is providing masks, hand sanitizer. In some locations, it's requiring a temp check, although that is not required at most places. And then for the remaining of the language, we ask individuals to please wear a mask. And we are not mandating that they wear masks, but we're asking them please to wear masks. And then we're also asking individuals to follow best safety practices. So we're making sure that in all of our communications to our potential participants and emails, event registration, Facebook events, that we're letting them know that we're doing our very best to make these COVID compliant events. So having that language in our event promotion, make sure to let people know that if they come to our event, they're at least we're doing our very best to prepare and make these safe events. So with that information, I'm now going to hand some of the call over to Seth, where he has additional information for you.
Yep. So here we have one thing I wanted to touch on real quick is we also ask people to wear masks and not stand too close to each other, especially when the media is there. Not everyone's doing it perfectly in this, but the media does like to take pictures like this that show compliance with what we're with the safe practices, and they talk about it. Look here, and they like that we're being a little bit cheeky with our signage. So that's been good with the media. This is an example from our event in New Orleans. So regarding all outdoor venues, this is very important to me in planning these events, and even in places that may have hurricanes, may have other issues, we wanted to have outdoor events. And with that, we had to have other plans. So we have different types of rain plans, lightning plans, extreme weather plans, and we've had to use them occasionally. We had to cancel one event due to a hurricane. We had to delay an event due to lightning. And since we had those plans already set, we knew what to do when the time came. And more importantly, or just as importantly, a lot of the venues, a lot of the places that we are going to require us to have these plans in writing. And so having them ready to go makes them feel better about us coming to have an event. And that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about next. A lot of places are saying that they don't issue permits. Almost every city that we say we want to go to, the locals on the ground say, oh, you can't come here. We have, our locals we're not allowed to have events here. But when we talk to these government agencies and show them everything we have, our COVID plan, we have all these events, we have positive press where they show us being safe and responsible. And they see that we're legitimate. We have insurance, et cetera, all that. Then they're like, okay, maybe we are willing to talk to you. Maybe we can grant an exception in this case. And we get a lot of just this one time, and it's happening in almost every city. And so if they tell you no the first time, try a different approach, especially if you emphasize the fact that you're trying to be COVID compliant. A great example that you can try to use in your own event is we were denied a permit to use an audio system. And then I explained how important an audio system is to being COVID compliant. An audio system allows people to stand further apart and still hear the message. Whereas without a professional audio system, they would have to stand closer. Once they heard that, they understood and they reconsidered and gave us the permit. So it's important to have that in your COVID plan. Regarding the sound system, I recommend what I call a three mic strategy. You want to have one microphone for the speaker, and then two microphones for Q&A. One that somebody is actively using, and the other one is being sanitized while the other one's being used. And the way you sanitize it, you should be using a windscreen on your mic, and then take the windscreen and dunk it in isopropyl alcohol to clean it, and then it's ready for the next one, and then you rotate back and forth, and that's how you can share mics and still be safe. Now, Jess wanted to mention something about interfacing with the media in the time of COVID.
So media is very important for your campaign. Making sure that you have media present is something else that you'll probably be learning about with Kara, like learning how to send out press releases. But what we want to talk about today is just when you have media at your campaign event, how to handle it. Best practice is to wear a mask when you're interacting with the media, because you don't know how the journalist feels about the mask issue. So you want to make sure to be respectful. You can also ask the journalist, would you prefer that we do this interview with masks or without? And they'll let you know their comfort level. And so then also making sure that you're being respectful to them and their safety, as they're also concerned about their families, just like everyone else is right now in America. So in order to make sure that you are presenting your best face forward with the journalists, do offer to wear a mask, and you can also ask if they feel more comfortable, masks on or off. But that's the best way to approach them, to hopefully have them be receptive of you during your conversation. So they write their pieces, their follow-up pieces, or their video reflects well upon you as a candidate. And also, I do feel that by having these safe events, the media do appreciate it and they will write about it. So we saw that Dr. Jorgensen and Spike's events have actually picked up media attention because we are doing campaign events in a safe manner, and it has been reflected well in the media. So making sure that you're putting your best face forward with your campaign, all of the advertising, that you have a COVID compliant event, that when people get there, they see that there's a table available with PPE as well as hand sanitizer, and that there's signage encouraging social distancing. All of those things combined will help the media, when they show up at your event and cover it, know that it's a safe event and that they will report accordingly. And then when you interact with them, making sure to wear a mask and use proper social distancing, and find a nice quiet place to have your interview. If you're having a campaign event that has a lot of attendees, you're probably going to be doing a one-on-one with any media that show up. So you're going to need to make sure to allow for finding space for that interview, because being that it's an outdoor event, usually it's harder to find that quiet spot for the one-on-one. But generally, reporters are happy to walk a few feet away and come with you as the candidate to have a little bit more of a quiet space while you can still see whatever was your event in the background while attendees are still there. So keep that in mind when you're interacting with media. Be very respectful, because it will come across in their journalism if they feel like they are disrespected. Do you have anything else to add to that, Seth?
Two quick things. Yes. One, in regards to media, now more than ever, they don't want to be pinning mics onto you. So if you have a mult box, offer it up. If you don't have one, get one. You'll need one at some point. They would really appreciate it. The other thing I wanted to mention is we have a relationship with a testing lab, and I would recommend finding a place to get regular rapid tests for COVID, just so that, for two reasons. One, you want to stay safe. It's important that you as a candidate, or if your staff, people around you, are safe, but also people will ask, hey, have you been tested recently for COVID? And you want to be able to honestly say yes. So regular testing, you're making sure you stay safe and that you're prepared when others ask you if you've been tested. So that's all I had on this.
And Seth, I apologize. I've been answering emails while we've been recording this. Did you go over permit strategy?
I did.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks to all of the candidates who are out there campaigning. We hope that this information was useful for you. And as you are looking for the last 60 days of this election, how you're going to strategize and use your very precious and valuable time. If you have any questions about how to do events in the age of COVID, please do not hesitate to reach out to Kara, who will then share your questions with Seth and I, and we will happily do any follow-up that we need to. We're also going to be providing you with a link to Google Drive with all the plans and materials that we've referenced here on this call. So thanks to everyone for running. Thanks to candidates thanks to everyone that's supporting a candidate and volunteering or acting as a campaign manager. We really want you to go out there and crush it, and also stay safe and healthy. So thank you, Seth, and thank you, Kara.
Thanks. Bye.